What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode with your boy Phrankleen. If you're watching this as a playback, this is a live stream. Thank you for joining. So let's get the party started, shall we? Just give me a second. If you can see me, you can hear me, hit the like button, all right? I'm trying to mute the one I've got opened on here. Right. Hold on. Let me mute this so we can. What's going on, people? What's going on, man? Thank you for joining. Thank you for stopping by. Right. Right. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. So following my my video from my live stream on Wednesday. So basically I had a mixed bag of reactions and whatnot. So somebody actually got in touch with me. It was a brother who was really passionate about everything, Hit the like button if you can hear me. Austin Alonga baby. Thank you for smash that like button. Okay, if you can hear me, smash the like button, please. All right. Anyways, as I was saying, Akwe the Farms, my brother, I see you, man. These brother banged me an email and he was very passionate, and he said he strongly believes that one of the major reasons why men blindly relocate abroad is due to pressure from their wives. Now, I could possibly sit here and share my views, but I thought, it's a Friday, and also I think it's nice to have people's views, and so I'm going to provide you with thank you, Alunga baby. I'm going to provide you with a link, okay? If you want to join the conversation, No, please. Can I just say respectfully, okay? We are grown-ups. I want us to talk. Everyone has got right to their opinion. This is not about blame game or anything, okay? The guy passionately emailed me, said, Phrankleen, I enjoy your content, but I've got to say that so many men, the reason why they blindly travel abroad and leave whatever they've got in Africa or they've built up in Africa, like you talked about in your video on Wednesday, it's because a lot of them, and he even said sometimes because of their mothers, and very strong views. So I've got one or two things to say, but I believe it's fair to have both men and women to be part of this chat. It's not about mudslinging. It's not this is not about blame game. This is really about, let's hear each other's views. What do you think? And so anyway, before, I've provided the link. If you want to join, smash the like button, click on that link to join a conversation. Each person gets 2 to 3 minutes. Click the link. You get about 2 to 3 minutes to be able to share your views and stuff like that. Right. So, right. This episode is sponsored by Sendwave. Sendwave is basically an app that you can use to send money from Italy, Spain, Ireland, United Kingdom, United States of America to Nigeria, Ghana, Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya. And the beautiful thing as well, there's an update about Sendwave. They are now sending money. If you're a Ghanaian, you're looking to send money to Ghana, you can now send money directly to your bank accounts in Ghana. All right. Use my promo code Phrankleen as it's spelled on my channel to get £5, $5, and €5 added to your first SendWave transaction. Share the codes with your friends and families. All right. And that's that. Download SendWave. So, as I was saying, this brother said he believes. Now, here is the thing. This is what I think. I think, like the story that I shared, a few days ago, God, my inbox exploded with all sorts of reactions and stuff like that. And this brother was claiming that there's so many men, even though they're doing well in Africa, because he said he believes some women like the idea of abroad, and they put pressure on the man, weaponizing the fact that they've got children. And if the man says no, they're the ones that always say, oh, they must travel abroad by every means necessary. And if the man refuses, they will throw tantrums, they will make a big palaver out of it, and also if he said the worst part is when some of these women get abroad, they are the ones that end up turning against the said men who brought them, who caved into their pressure in the first place. And then they get abroad, they learn the evil abroad ways, they weaponize it against their men, and they kick the man out of the house and take everything that belongs to him. That's very serious. So today is not just about Phrankleen talking. Click on that link, men and women, all right? Let's have a grown-up conversation. What do you think? You don't have to show your face, audios and stuff. Click on the link, join the conversation. I'm waiting for you. Now, I personally believe it's the case for some women, not all women. It'll be unfair to suggest that it's the case. But of course, there are some women, because if they stick, an example is, there are some women, if you have £100 and you're telling her that, okay, let's spend £40 on whatever, I want to keep £60 for emergency or to do some things. If the woman sticks the children in your face, it's not like the children haven't got food, but if the woman stick the children in your face, weaponizes the children, you are absolutely destroyed. And then you can be made out as an unreliable man. Do you get what I'm saying? Of course, you should prioritize your family. So it's the same with traveling abroad. So there is something else that the man said that I will share with you. Let me add something to the prioritize. Hello? It's the same with traveling abroad. She disappeared. Okay. Abi, I think I lost you. If you want to join the chat, click on the link. And like he said, oh, there's somebody's online. Me. Hello. Hello. What's going on, man? You guys are joining and disappearing. Anyways, somebody said a good number of Nigerian women do this. So, there are also, the truth has to be told. There are couples who travel abroad. They might have been ignorant in terms of their decisions. And there are also cases where it's a mutual agreement. So if you then get abroad and then you're faced with reality of the pressures abroad, it then becomes, you both have a joint liability for whatever palaver you've both created. Somebody say we can't donate here in Niger, boss, and no PayPal. Okay, bro, email me, man. If you want to donate and you're in Nigeria, I can give you a bank account. You can bank money in there. It's bad though. So people in Nigeria can't even support my channel. So please, man, I want people to be involved in this. I don't know what's going on, man. Why are those people getting disconnected? Let me put the link. Click on the link and join the conversation. So yes, I believe, Itunu. Right, let me add Itunu. Bro.
Oh, Mr. Franklin, how you doing today?
I'm all right, thanks. So, what do you think? What do you think?
Can you, oh, good. Let me use my mic. I just want to use my headphones. Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you. Go on.
Oh, okay. No, yeah. So I was just joining your show. So I thought maybe I would have had some people ahead of me so that way I can actually
No,
push
you're the
through.
first. You're the first guy. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think?
Okay, so uh, about Nigerians moving abroad, I mean couples. I'm just trying to like get the idea of what we're talking about. I know I do follow your show, but I just want to get an idea. So that's
Oh,
like
so you're not there yet. Okay, okay, okay. All right, all right, all right. I'll wait for you to get an idea. You can come back. All right, right. So sometimes men are the cause of the toxicity of women. Women who try to control. Who men who try to control the women. No, that's not what I'm talking about. So basically, what we're talking about is those men that blindly travel abroad. Say they're married, they've got wives and stuff. These brother banged me an email and said, in fact, let me read something out. He said, great show, bro. So one of the reasons most guys made the bloody mistake of relocating is because of pressure from their wives. Many end up devastated and destroy, everything they've built back home, and then they get stuck abroad. I don't understand why people want to migrate, and leave well-paid job and their homes and all that stuff. So it's quite long-wounded. Um, hey, Dumoye, what's going on, brother? So, what do you think? If you're saying it's true, join the conversation and share. It's not only Nigeria. I know of Kenya, Uganda women who also chase their men out. So what the brother is saying is a lot of men who abandon. He said the women are all usually mostly fixated on they want life abroad. They want life abroad. They want to take their children abroad. They want to give them better opportunity. Whilst we can argue that it's okay for the children to have better opportunity abroad, they always say it's the women that put pressure on their shoulders that force them to come abroad, and then the women get abroad, they grow horns, and then they use same to destroy the men and kick them out of the homes and hijack everything the man has worked for. So, and then when said women get old, they enjoy traveling back and forth and keeping the merits of the children to themselves. This is what this brother said. Come on, man. Are people afraid to join this chat? Come on, man. Let's hear what you've got to say. Basically, this brother watched my video on Wednesday, right? And then he said one of the reasons most guys make the bloody mistake of relocating is because of pressures from their wife. Many end up devastated and destroy everything they've built back home and get stuck. And he even said some of them, the pressure is from their mothers as well. Said the woman would use say the man has already got children abroad, and the woman would use the children as, oh, I want better life for my children. Let's go to America. Let's go to Canada, or let's go to the UK. And then they get and the pressure or the reality of abroad takes over, and the man, and then he said usually the same women will then be the ones to turn against the man after pressurizing him to come abroad. So he's saying that as his own fact. So I've put it across as, okay, let's talk about it. Is that true? Yes or no? So that's
I, okay, so to me, it's very, like I said earlier, it's two-way thing to me, in the sense that my own thing is number one. If you're doing good for yourself and for your family in Nigeria or in Africa, why move to the Western world? And there is this mental thing that we have that, okay, if you move abroad, like everything is gonna change. Like there's you will automatically become rich. But the moment you've established a family in Africa and you're doing well for yourself, now why being forced, why being pressured to move. Whereas you've established yourself, your home. So why move? That is number one. That is, to me, that is, you've actually laid a wrong foundation for yourself. At that age, where do you want to start? Assuming you move over as a young child, I mean as a youth, is a different thing entirely. But once your family has been established and you think that you're being pressurized to move, guess what? Women are very smart. Okay, they also want their freedom too as well. So the moment they move down here, so whatever happens, you face the consequences. Okay, now you they move down here. Where are you living? So the same way we have ghettos in Africa, same way we have we have some ghettos over here to maybe the environment where you're living, the kind of school that your kids are going to, compared to the kind of school that they're actually going to way back in Africa. Maybe they're actually going to a very good private school. So now they are forced to go to a public school here. There's a lot of pressure, because guess what? The pressure you have over here is even more than the pressure you have in Africa. Let's be honest with ourselves. For some of us that are living in diaspora, the kind of pressure that we have here to maintain a family in the Western world is more difficult than to maintain family way back in Africa. It's totally different. Both of you have to be working. So there's a lot involved. So my own take is that if you're doing good for yourself, why actually force yourself? To me, I'm not gonna blame the woman because as a man, you should be able to kind of like sit your wife down and let her know this is the reason why we can't make this move. But if you listen to her and you take that advice based on what people are saying, like, oh, don't worry, just move down here, or maybe people will start giving you examples of, oh, I have this brother, he moved after having 3 kids, after having 4 kids, and look at him, this is what he has become today. If you don't
Mm.
have a family and you don't have your papers, why move? Because guess what? People will promise you like, oh, if you move down here, oh, we'll do this, and guess what? You will sell everything you've labored, you know, for your life for, will just be gone with the twinkle of an eye. So now tell me, things that many people are craving for in Nigeria, you have it. But guess what? Because of, to me, I would say it's greed. Because guess what? How many rich guys are actually leaving Nigeria or Africa to move down here? Rich guys that are actually doing well for themselves. They'll tell you, F America, F London, F this. They will actually stay there.
Mm.
So you saying your wife actually pressured you, to me, I would say whatever happens to you, dance to your music. Because as a man, you should be able to kind of like, do your due diligence. Look at the statistics. You don't have the papers. And what comes to us, you move down and then it will become issue of, okay, I have to do the on the G paperwork to kind of like, maybe marry whatever stuff. And that's gonna be the moment you've taken that step, that marriage is gone. Because guess what? You've actually broken the vow of that marriage, of your marriage. The moment you step out like, okay, you want to have someone to kind of like, you want to do paper, guess what? Your wife is gonna wait. You are out there doing your thing because you want to get your papers,
But
and
let
she's
me
gonna
let
be
me
like this.
let me chip in something to know, right? So I can give someone else an opportunity. I think I get what you're saying. People would say, "Oh, the man should be in control. You should be at the forefront of affairs in your home. The woman should." Have you dealt with some women? If they
This,
hold on, my man, hold on. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
listening to you. I'm
Have
listening to you.
you dealt with some really manipulative, evil, and vindictive women? Toba Kotie, oh, Nini Semino, Cholo, you will travel by fire.
The way you speak your back door usually crack me up. Okay, listen.
You get
Frankly,
no, no.
there's something.
I get what you're saying. I think normally a man might be like, yo, I don't want to go to the States or the UK. I've got some kini going for me here, blah blah blah. If the woman puts pressure on his neck, fam, and then the man be like, okay, cool, let's go. And like you rightly said, 9 out of 10 times, people make promises. Don't worry, you can stay with us, blah blah blah. Long and short is, the reality hits where they're going. And then when they get there, the whole trying to build, that's not to say that there are plenty of cases of couples who left based on mutual agreement. And we can say maybe they're doing well today. Do you get what I'm saying? But for those men who have been left, out to dry and they've lost everything, the brother actually said he has a friend who was in Nigeria. Dude was doing well. Wife put pressure on him. They entered America. Everything went sideways. The brother is working in a factory. Do you see what I'm saying? And then the woman starts to, make him out as a never to do well type. But back in Nigeria, he was doing very well. He had a driver. He had a maid. He was making money. Now he's lost everything in the West with 2 children. The same woman then turned around to say, you're not good enough. And then any little thing, she calls 911, yeah, and all that stuff. So it's not the case for everybody. I'm aware of that. But how do we then deal with those type of palaver is all I'm trying to say.
Okay, so frankly, to answer your question, and I definitely get where you're coming from. Like I said, you know that some men are abusive to their wives. You know that, right?
Well, of course. And hey, some men are abusive to their wife. Me, I like to be objective. Let's be clear. Let's not assign abuse to men. Abuse is not gender specific. There are satanic women out there who mentally and physically abuse their husbands. Believe me. So there might be maybe slightly higher percentage in terms of, okay, who does it more, whatever. But man, it's both ways. But go on.
Okay. So, but frankly, see, there's something you have to understand. Yes, Mama, probably will go. I've seen a lot of them. Trust me,
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of them. But there's one thing you need to understand. Now you know the kind of woman where you marry. You know your woman more than anybody else. You understand? So, and one thing I've learned since I moved down here is you are responsible for what happens to you in the Western world. In Africa now we can say, okay, are you no shade? Nah, people coming from the village. I want down on Kinesis, but yeah, you're responsible for whatever happens to you, for the decision you make, for your actions. You're responsible for it. I was telling my brother, I said, it was like, oh, bro, man, you've been here for a while. I said, bro, there's nothing. No, I can't do it because this is the reality. You're even lucky you have a house, you're doing good for yourself. Sometimes when you travel home, you see that some of them are even doing way better than us over here. But let me go back to what you said. Now, I know that we have so many manipulative women out there. The same thing applies to men too as well. It is vice versa. Well, what I'm trying to say is that for a woman to do something like that, trust me, you would have seen that sign in that house. Because you have a maid, you have a driver. I'll bring
No, hold on. Let me tell you. You might truly know, yes, if you're with someone, regardless of the geographical location, you should definitely know certain XYZ about that partner. I agree. But having said that, that cultural change or environmental change, yeah, you move from Niger to the West, where it's a totally different ball game, yeah. What that does is like when you play games and you say level 1, level 2, level 3. What that does, it takes you to a different level of understanding of your partner to then gain a deeper insight into what they're capable of. So, for example, in a Niger environment, you might have known like, maybe you as a man now you're hustling and you can go to your wife that, hey, baby, sorry for me, 200K, man, can I get 200K from you to just run a quick business, right? You get now. And maybe you pay her back and all that stuff. She'll support you and say, or maybe she'll say, I've only got 50K or 100K. You take it, normal stuff. But now you are in the West. So let's say things are a little bit funny, a little bit dodgy, and you're not earning enough, or because of the build-up of some of the things you've done, even you're flagrant, you're behaving as you're Nigeria. Oh my God, when you get to the West, yeah, maybe she has some money on her and say, baby, let me get $400. And she said, no, I ain't giving you $400. That's my money. And now she understands better that I dare you to misbehave. But you understand what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay.
And then we start to bang on about so when she's looking at you, and all the hell, you may not have been physically violent, but hell that don't swear. So and then with the whatever the vibe in the environment here, it's payback time, man.
Of course, that's it. That's why I said. Let me tell you. That's why I said.
Let's not go off topic. The point is, a lot of men that have caved into pressure, like, oh, let's go into the West, and then they come, and then maybe they've lost everything. They've, one of the most hurtful thing that can destabilize a man, let's call it spade a spade. My guy, I have personally, this is not even joking, I've met people, I've lived abroad for donkey years, bruv, and I'm sure you probably know this, that they have worked their career up to a certain extent, or they were commanding certain money, and based on misconception, Western propaganda, they dumped everything. And my wife said, let's go, to give our children. Now, when you look at it on one side, it's not bad if you want to give your children maybe a good future and stuff. But then it's soon done on you when you get to the location that you've made the wrong decision. When money is not coming, the number one person that will put pressure on you, that's where, in fact, it's a test. Because when it's, okay, take for example, Nigeria is a warm climate, yes or no?
Correct, yes.
So it's a different ball game. Like, okay, even if you're broke, everybody will manage.
Of course.
In the States, if you are even managing in a room and you don't get money, and you get children, all of them now.
Like this,
the devil will come out of that woman, man. God damn it. Are you joking? And then that reality hits home. It barges into the man's ego. And then, bad blood starts. And I'm just giving an example. It's funny, but it's the truth. Just because you can't have young children, you can't even be in a cold climate. That's just a random example. So you haven't got money to keep the house warm and stuff. Frustration just pushes people over the edge, and you will catch fire. You can't be there now with your chest. Bro, I'm looking at you in your t-shirt right now. You can't sit there and your children are freezing. And your wife is there agonizing about this and this. More than likely, she'll take it out on you.
You see, one thing that I've seen, and you're absolutely right, 100%. I can agree less with you on that. But there's also one thing that you also need to understand is this, which is, for some men that don't actually know that, in Nigeria, you might be the husband you might be the head of the house. You're doing whatever stuff that you need to do. Now, the moment you move to the Western world, it has become a shared responsibility.
Right.
It has become a shared responsibility. So knowing that both of you have to be working. So now, if you're in Nigeria, your wife has a shop, or maybe you open a store for her, and you're working, you're the breadwinner, you're making good money, and she actually, pressured you to move down here. Guess what? If you are not making money, forget about it. You've lost that woman entirely. Yes. Frankly, you know better. People don't like a war. Yes, this woman, yes, she likes money, and you can't provide for her. After, forget about it. You've lost that woman completely. And guess what? You can't say, Mark, I'm gonna call, I'm gonna call your father in Nigeria. No. At this point, guess what? She's like, I don't care. You can't do this. You can't do this. You can't do that. Okay, should be I'm sorry for using. You understand? You know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but you understand? Like from what you said, you don't have the money, and guess what? You want to have fun with me. No, it's not gonna work. So that orientation changes. Don't forget that there is also an onboarding process. The moment you are moving your family down here, this is reality for both of you. But guess what? Like I said, you should know your woman. I know so many women that have changed when they moved down here. Like I said, I have one very close to me whereby it it actually chartered his life. Someone who works for Exxon for almost about 37 years. Yes. And it everything just went down just like that. But it takes the grace of God. That's why sometimes we just have to do our due diligence. Okay, now let me just say this. Maybe it might be out. Maybe let me digress for just a minute before I leave. Like now, what some guys are doing now, some guys that are actually doing good for themselves. What they are doing now is they're actually making their woman sign prenup. Like, okay, that's their
Oh,
own insurance now.
1 second, 1 second. Somebody's saying, can we get a woman to contribute? Relax. It's going to finish now. I'm going to bring women on. I've actually got House of Coffee in the background. I want women.
Okay, then.
You people should relax. So relax. Don't throw your slippers at me. Just relax.
Okay, I'll leave guys, but
I can bring women on because
I'm done.
they're removing their earrings already, man. Let's wrap up.
Sometimes I just believe that a woman that would cheat would cheat. A woman, a woman that would support the husband would definitely do. But guess what? But one thing I know for sure is that the statistics of women that tend to turn against their husband once they move abroad, the numbers are very high. That I can agree with you, and that's why I said it boils down to their foundation. If you treat your woman right, you do what you're supposed to do as a man, and that woman is with you. She's not going to pressure you to move down there. And the moment your woman starts pressuring you at home to do some certain things that you are something that you have in abundance at home, think about it. Don't just fall for it. Anything you have in abundance and your woman is asking for more of that, knowing that yes, I have this thing. Think about it. Don't just fall for it. So maybe that will actually guide us. I mean, that's my own opinion. Everyone has their view of how they see things. So, Franklin, thank you for bringing me on. Thank you.
All right, cool. House of Coffee. Your mic.
Sorry.
Right.
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right, thanks. So what do you think?
Hi. Right. I have written. Okay. Right. I've written some of my points here, and I particularly think that it's quite absurd for a man to just put that responsibility on a woman only to say that, or a woman. Women are generally the one that convince a man to move or relocate abroad. I find that very offensive, because as a man, you should be able to do your own homework about where you're relocating to, do your fact findings before you can then accept to move anywhere. And also, there are different sides to this. I mean, one is job opportunity, like you've mentioned, and another thing is better life for the children. We women usually think of better life for our children. And obviously, we know that relocating to the UK or anywhere abroad will give children a better life. And one of the things I also wrote down that you've equally mentioned is payback for bad marriage. So a woman will tell you, let's relocate abroad for a payback, right? If you've been treating her like shit there in Nigeria, and she thinks, oh no, that, oh, by the time we get to the UK, yeah, I'm gonna deal with you. Those are the options, honestly, because you know that when you get abroad, this is a country for women, and you don't do that shit here. So if you mess up, they will deal with you. So I mean, there are so many perspectives to it. So let's not just look at it based on one side or based on the side of condemning women alone. It's not just our responsibility.
Wait. Right. I love what you said. You said, so basically, there are women with pre-made mind because of history with their partners, and then they have the mind that they would deal with them when it gets abroad.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
can I say then that all the while she was planning, she must have
Mm-hmm.
she already knew what she was going to get up to when they get there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Many of the times is well planned out. And that's one thing many men do not realize, that these things are not just something that just come up all of a sudden. It's well thought out. It's well planned out. Um, before and way before she made that decision, she's thought about it very well and planned it through. You are the
Wait,
one that is thinking, oh, we're just
no,
going for
no,
jobs.
wait. I agree. So
Mm-hmm.
what you're saying is it was all the woman knew exactly what she was going to get up to when she gets abroad.
Yeah.
So she needs the man as a stepping stone to get there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 That's one perspective. I'm not saying that is the case on all situations, but that's one perspective to it. um, I know that some women can be very horrible, and on the part of the men, you can be naive as well, thinking that, oh, my wife loves me and wants us to go and have a better life. But on the other hand, she is planning something else. She's already thought it out and created her plans, because some of our friends may have told her that, oh, life abroad is different. You'll be treated differently. Women have a lot of rights here, and Oga has been treating her badly in Nigeria, and yeah, you'll be dealt with. Absolutely. Just
wow?
my thoughts. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Have you
But
got
as a
anything
man,
to add to it?
I mean, all
You
I
see,
can say is,
I think
yeah,
that really proves the point that the man made there,
yes,
saying
absolutely. Yeah.
that woman just because you want to go deal with someone. But let me ask,
Hmm.
it's not cheaper to just walk away from the man. So you use him to go abroad, and then
Um,
you kick him out.
no, 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 Franklin. Let's not forget that not everybody has the balls to walk out of a relationship. Um, some would feel like, wow, I've got to take vengeance. I've got to deal with that person, no matter what. So not everybody has the balls, and not everybody is actually matured to say, let me just move on with my life. So it's all on you to then know who exactly you're married to, the kind of person you're married to, and if you're willing to take that risk with them.
Someone said you've just sold out every single woman in this chat. That revelation is scary, man.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, it is scary, but it is the truth. That's just the truth. But so my final take is that as a man, you got to do your homework very well. Know who you are married to, and know on what basis you're making that decision, because it's a life-changing decision. So you don't just make it with your hands folded. Yeah. Thank you, darling. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank
All
you.
right. Speak to you later.
All right. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. Yo,
Hey, Mr. Franklin. Hello.
how
Hello.
you doing?
Yeah, good,
Hello.
bro. Good, bro. So, I think you've been going against the topic itself, because what I understood from the topic itself is that the reason most men blindly relocate abroad due to pressure from their wives. From their
Mm.
wives mean okay. From their wives mean maybe they are probably in two separate worlds. So maybe one might be in Africa and the other person might probably relocate to the West, right?
No, no,
So
no. Both are in Africa, and then the woman saying to the man,
yeah,
"Let's."
relocate to the West. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay, okay. And then on the long run, both of them are not together, right? So now,
yeah.
so the first thing I probably have to point out is misinformation, because of the way our people, generally have the mindset, oh, that okay, fine, they might have maybe they probably might be eating 3 square meals, 2 square meals a day in Nigeria, and then thinking, oh, there's other greener pasture over there. Okay, why not just relocate and then try move to the West? So the man takes the risk, goes abroad, starts hustling from the beginning, And then
Right.
unfortunately, the man might not pass the right information to the wife at home. You understand? Because if you look at it, not all women are wicked. So a man relocates abroad, he gets abroad, struggling, hustling, doing 3 jobs a day, 2 jobs, sometimes 1 job, stressful, in a new environment and everything. And then if he actually communicates properly to the wife at home, she would probably see reason, and she wouldn't. I don't think any reasonable person would actually want to pressure the husband to do anything wrong or whatever. I mean, try to pressure financially or whatever it is whilst is abroad. I hope I'm making sense, right?
Mm.
Okay, so secondly, um, the way actually women actually with the way we behave sometimes is actually wrong. We don't communicate properly to our wives. You don't treat them fairly. So now, when the man goes abroad, the woman starts having a kind of, do I say, another mindset? Oh, you might actually have other wife, living a better life abroad and everything, and then she starts mounting pressure on him from wherever he is, from Africa or wherever she's, whilst he's abroad in the West, thinking that okay, the man is having his fair share of enjoyment and everything. Okay, so why not pressurize him and get more demand from him so she can actually enjoy and probably take over her kids and her family back home. So it's actually, I mean, it really depends on the family, and of course it depends on both partners. If they work together, they will surely there will be no need for any pressure, or no need for maybe the wife pressurizing the husband and everything. And yeah, so those are just my two main points: misinformation, and miscommunication. Misinformation being that okay, human beings are not we are extremely insatiable.
Yeah.
We always think that oh, there's a better life in another place. Where we have is actually the cold mind. You understand what I'm saying? So by thinking that way, we think, oh, fine, what I have here, maybe you have your factory or your own mini organization back home, and then person thinks, oh, actually, I can actually have it better in the other place. Okay, why not just ditch what I have here and just let me just go without having lived there before, just having friends, probably painting rubbish for the person and everything. Man relocates and then begins to see reality, and to turn back, the person cannot probably the man cannot go back. So all I believe is by just communicating properly to the partner, making the partner understand, okay, fine, hmm, Mrs. I've fucked up. I'm having to start from scratch over here and everything. So that way, the woman, if it's a devil or an evil person, would not be able to man pressure on the man. So that's just what I feel I should add to the point.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank
Cheers,
you.
man. Bye bye. Yeah.
Right. Emmanuel. Hello. I can't hear you. Emmanuel, I can't hear you, bro. Let me get someone else in. Hello.
Hello. Hi,
Hi.
can you hear me? Oh,
Loud
great.
and clear.
Oh, okay. I think for me, right, I don't believe, I mean, for a sensible person,
Mm.
anybody can actually pressurize you to make such a life-changing decision. Fine, the women might come and say, oh yeah, let's relocate abroad because probably she has seen somebody or somebody has sold the abroad stuff to her and definitely come to you. But as a man, apart from the fact that you are the man of the house or blah blah blah, as an individual, a man that is responsible for his own life, for the life of his children and his wife, should go ahead and make his own investigation. And if you think that you are not so, I mean, some things and you're not settled with some of the things, you call your wife and you have a conversation. And you definitely tell her this and this and these are the things I think might not work right. At the end of the day, you know, it might not go the way you think it would go. For example, look at this person. I spoke with this person. I read this. I did that. I mean, it's a conversation. Because one thing is, if you're saying that the woman is pressurizing you to go abroad, by the time you get to that abroad and everything is not working out the way you think or you want it to work out, At the end of the day, the woman you are scared of not losing back home, you will end up losing the woman at the end of the day. So I mean, you lose the woman, you lose your own, your funds, your finances, your children lose respect for you. Everything just goes haywire. But if you are back home and the only thing you are facing is the pressure from the woman reporting you to all the family members and blah, 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 at least you know that is the one thing you are facing. You are not losing your finances. You are not losing respect from your children and from your family or from friends. And your life is not just turned upside down. So at the end of the day, is everybody taking responsibility for their actions, for their decision, for their children, for your own life, and not just say, "Oh, somebody pressurized me." No, 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 no. Nobody pressurized you. At the end of the day, you can even reach a decision to say, okay, why not go? You go with the children or you go alone, and let's see how it works for a year or two, and I will then come over. I mean, people do it. People do it a lot, and one person go for a year or two, and the other person joins. At least within that 1 year or two, you would have seen at least a little bit of the reality. Then you have the opportunity to make your, I mean, another decision of whether to go back to where you're coming from or to stay, rather than just dumping everything back home and you're moving abroad for, I mean, greener pastures, like they say. So that's my
All
take,
right.
really.
Thank you very much. Right. Can I just say something? Right. I agree with what the woman has just said, but I need to add this before I bring on the next, people. If you want to join, let me put the link here first. See, I think from the point of view of the person that sent me the email and the way I digested it, some would argue, oh, of course you have to put your foot down and all that. In fact, you see, this is very convenient. There's something I'm getting at here. Like, you see, when people are addressing this sort of conversation, they will say, oh, the man has to put his foot down, or the woman should not control you. Do you see how that sounds? I'm the dude on the fence here. This is my platform. But I want you to see something. You want me to put my foot down. I will put my foot down. You want me to put my foot down. Oh, I will put the goddamn foot down. You want to see how that foot will enter the ground. But guess what? It doesn't always play out nicely, because they will flip the script and say, you are quite aggressive. You are inconsiderate. You are very selfish. Yeah? Even if the only thing the woman is flinging at you is, I said I'm going to contribute even to the process of traveling so that we can give our children a good future. Okay, the guy processing this and this and this is going to charge us ₦1 million to process the visa to travel abroad. Right? That's when, if a woman really wants something, yeah, in order to wreck your position in the confines of that argument, she can even say to you, okay, you know what? I will raise that ₦1 million inclusive of the ticket money. I'll get money from my father or from my brother. Let's go. Because of this, do you not love your children? As a man, you then start to cave in. Doesn't make you less of a man. The men that have maybe dealt with manipulative women, you know exactly what I'm saying. You can only put your foot down for so long. You put your foot down. Oh no, this. They will put pressure on you, and then okay, you know what? Let's go. Let's get there. When we get there, we work together. It's gonna be all right. And this and this and this. Even if you don't want, I've even got an email from someone that said, I remember this. When he was going to leave Nigeria, he told his wife he wasn't interested in traveling. And then the wife said, let's go for a decade. We will raise some Forex, which is, hard currency, maybe dollars. We'll both work with 10 years in America. We'll come back. We can build towards our retirement. We'll build businesses. He bought into the idea. When they got to the States, The whole American life took a banana shape. So financial pressure and money plays a key role. The whole thing went bananas, didn't go as planned. The guy said to me, I remember this email before the lockdown started. The same woman, yeah, started having an affair with some guy that they met in the States. Those ones appeared to be doing well. They have their papers and stuff. And he found out, he busted his wife, started having an affair with that dude because of fake promises of, you know, the man is not, your husband is not man enough. Because look, man, allow me to say this. Allow me to say this. Whilst I appreciate that there are very reasonable women on here that may not be evil, sensible people, let me tell you something. The greatest problem that any man has is if you're financially disarmed and you have a woman spitting fire at you, it will destabilize you mentally, emotionally, in any way you can think of. Then you have that going on, particularly in the West. Ego, emotions flying, and then things go banana shape. I am not saying this is the case for every woman, but when you look back as a man, let me tell you, man, as long as you got blood running through your veins, imagine you were doing well, you cave into pressure, you traveled. Okay, you know what, man? Because they would say to you, in the confines of a relationship, we as partners, we've got to learn to compromise. We have to learn to compromise. We have to learn to compromise. What do you think compromise means? Compromise means, listen, I don't want this, but okay, you know what? For the sake of peace, okay, cool. Let's do that. You hear that a lot, even relationship experts. Oh, you've got to learn to compromise. You've got to learn to meet your partner in the middle somewhere. Part of that compromise, you cave in. All right, okay, we'll do that. Let's go then. And then you get to America. Some other man start blowing your back in. You know what, man? Lord Jesus. Let me get someone else in. I've got people waiting. Hey, I've got a woman. Let me get this sister in. Don't worry, I can see everybody. Doris. Mike, your mic. I can't hear you. Your mic. Your mic.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Great.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, my name is Doris and I'm calling from Germany.
Hi.
The discussion for me, my own opinion about it is a collective decision between the man and the woman.
Right.
And most especially when there is insatisfaction. You know, we Africans, we are never satisfied with what we have. We want more. And most especially when we see other people, you know, better than us. So we want to be on the same page with them. And mismanagement is also a factor in this issue, such that maybe the man or the woman has gone bankrupt, and then the only option is, oh, maybe going abroad will help me out. Seeing other people coming from abroad, the way they live, and you know, their improvement in every aspect of life. That a woman pressurized a man to go abroad for her own selfish interest, I doubt. I think that is not correct. He is a man. He is the man of the house. So it's like the woman cannot ask him to jump from the third-story building or a bridge, then he jump. He might have seen certain things of personal interest, you know, that will make him make up his mind to say, oh, it's a good idea. Why not? Let me give it a try. And one other thing I wish to add to it is we Africans will still need to learn more about the issue of bringing a woman abroad. At the end of the day, the woman misbehaved or well planned, you know, just to deceive the guy. I think that is totally not correct. There are women that also brought their men abroad, but there are certain things we Africans, male or female, lack, such that we enjoy oppressing the other partner. Depends on who has the upper hand. Yeah. In most cases, that is the order of the day. We are all human beings. If we treat each other well, I think most of the problems we have in a relationship today would not be as much as it is. That's my own
Fantastic.
take about that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's everything you want to
So,
say.
yeah. And
Thank you.
also frustration could also be part of it. When a man is frustrated, at times men, they have hidden agenda too, not only women. He may use that as an excuse. Yeah, that's my contribution.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right. Let me. Yes.
Hey, how you doing,
My
Frank?
brother. I'm all
How's
right.
it going, man? I was listening to this. I had situations similar to this, and I think there's one thing that people are leaving out, and I want to mention this. And before I say it, I want to make sure that everyone understands I'm not saying it in a bad way to be throwing shade. But what a lot of men do not understand is that did my picture freeze? Can you see me? Can you hear me?
I can see you. I can see you clearly. Go on.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
What a lot of people don't understand is that women are hypergamous, and it's in their nature. And people banter that word around like it's a bad thing. It's just in their nature to go for the highest valued male. And just because they get married doesn't mean their nature changes. You know, just like for men.
I was trying to dance around that word, you know, because this is my channel. You can say that, because if I say women are hypergamous, they're here, no Phrankleen, yum, yum.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna hear. But it's not a bad word. I think it's good for men in a way, because it makes men have to always strive to do better. You know, that the women are hypergamous, and women also have to do well too. You have so many women that have let themselves go, and men naturally go for the highest value partner in sex. You know, this is what attracts us, and that's in our nature. And we fight it when we get married, but the easiest way to protect against it is for your spouse to keep herself in good physical shape. You know, so you add this. If, let's say, you take someone from Africa. Personally, as a man, I would never take a woman out of Africa and take her to the United States, because the United States, the laws are not for us; they're against us. So she can leave you and take all your goods, take everything with her.
Holy moly!
Yeah, that would happen. Whereas if you go to Africa, depending on where you go, she might be to leave you, but she won't be to take all your worldly possessions. And if she leaves, there's so many attractive Black women in Africa. It's like, okay, go on then. You know, that's the way I would look at it. I would say, okay, you want to leave? All right, well, bye. You know, but in the United States, you can't do that. So I wouldn't, going from the United States to Africa, if she found the African man that she wanted, okay, I'm gonna miss you, but goodbye. But in the United States, it's not that easy. And I don't know how it is in England where you are, but all of the laws are against men in the West.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, but as a man, I don't think you have to put your foot down in a way saying, do what I say. I think you have to put your foot down is to always be prepared. So if your spouse leaves you, you're not left, in a bad way. Always, like a lot of people say, well, you should have a joint bank account. Well, yeah, maybe you can have a joint bank account, but also have your bank account, because what I found is most women have a separate bank account.
Oh.
My mother even had a separate bank account. You know, so that's really all I have to say to that. And I know I probably upset some women, and I don't mean to. Like, look, did you see that interview with Will Smith and Jada Pinkett?
Yeah.
She
That's
took
all.
no accountability for what she did. She had sex with one of her son's friends, and she said she was helping him. But if Will had got one of Willow's 20-year-old friends, he would be canceled.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not getting on her for doing that. Good for her, you know. But does Will get a nice 20-year-old woman? She's legal. Does he get to get a 20-year-old woman and do the same thing? Take all those pictures, you know, and find out it's one of Willow's friends? I don't think so. But anyway, yeah, I'm kind of froze. My picture's froze, so I don't know if you can even see me in here.
I can see you, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, bro.
Thanks a lot, Phrankleen. Take care.
All right.
Also, let's see who else I can bring on.
Ken.
Hello. Can you hear
Hello.
me?
I can hear you loud and clear, bro.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you, Ken.
Yeah. So I'm pretty much in the UK. I just want to add, and you can hear me. Yeah. I just want to add that everyone seemed to forget the principle here when it comes to you know, the union. I mean, like us men, we don't really when a woman comes and say we love you, that doesn't really mean much. But when it comes to respect, that's what stands. You know, we can be watching a football game and a woman will just come and say, "Oh honey, I love you," and the man will say, "Oh, okay, it's cool." But it's just mainly about respect. It's all about respect. And I think within our community, women forget that. They don't actually prioritize that. And I think in the relationship itself, it feels like it's a competition between us. We are competing. You understand? It may be a case where, you know, you feel that you have to hold up a certain value, and then when we may migrate for our family to bring wealth or do whatever we can back to our family, then we are looking at everything and say that, you know, we are always competing. You know, I've got to compete with my wife. I've got to compete with my spouse. And then therefore that leaves you in a place where it's like, you know, I don't want to go back to that because it feels as though I'm always having to carry this burden. And, you know, and the lady before mentioned that, you know, she mentioned that there are men, and men, we got so much on our shoulders to carry, but no one actually looks at the fact that we're human beings. No one wants to mention that we're human beings. Yes, we are men, and we like to feel that we are in control, but at the other side, we want to feel that respect, because respect, you know, as the Bible said, you know, husbands, you know, love your wives, and wives, you know, honor your husband. So it's simply about respect. And I think that's where the issue is. So when we leave and we migrate somewhere else, it's a case that we are thinking, oh my gosh, you know, like my wife doesn't respect me. You know, things might not be going well within our mind, and there's no one to compliment us to say that it's not going as well. But no one is telling us that. The wife is not saying, you know what, yeah, honey, you know, I'm here, I'm standing with you, I'm praying for you, and you know, I'm hoping that everything works. She's like, you know, what's going on? What's happening? You know, and we are human beings. Things doesn't always go to plan. And you know, it's just that one moment that can literally just change everything, that we're going through that phase in our lives, that we're like, oh my gosh, I don't feel that we are needed, that we don't feel that we don't feel accepted in the family. And that can also be a case where we might say, you know what, yeah, you know, we have no purpose here. We don't feel like we belong, you know, in this family, and we're looking elsewhere. And that could be something, that could well maybe something.
Somebody's asking, where is Phrankleen? That's a bit weird. I can hear you, bro.
Phrankleen?
I can hear you. I can hear you, Ken.
Yeah.
Oh, Bro,
Hey, Franklin. I greet you, bro.
how you doing?
Yeah, this is Paul, man. I'm calling from the United States, man. So,
Okay, bro.
yeah, I really want to appreciate what you're doing for bringing up such a topic so that we can share our experiences so that our ladies and our brothers from left and right and from other parts of the world can really get to learn what we are saying, man. Like me, for example, I kind of like I faced a situation where I had a situation where I kind of like have a lot of pressure from my wife and stuff like that. So because of that, I decided to move out, man, because it wasn't easy. If I didn't move out, like by now, I would have been like my marriage would have gone apart, man. So
Why?
they come and tell,
Why are you telling me this, man?
yeah, sure. There come a time when you really have to really take some precaution, man. Make sure that each time you like get some money you want to spend within your family, always make sure that you reserve some money because the kind of plans that your wife got against you, you will never know it until there comes a time when you don't have money, man. When you don't have money, you are gone. When you don't have a dime, your wife and your kids are going to team up against you and you're going to get it hard. So
Did
always
you
make sure.
did you come to the States with your wife, or you met her in the States?
No, I was with her in Africa, man. So
Yeah, that's what I said. You were
yeah,
with her in Africa, then you came to
yeah, I
the
was with
States.
her in Africa. Yeah, so I decided to move to the state in order to have some like have some space for myself and really get to put myself together, man.
Oh, wait,
So
wait, wait, wait. When did you separate? You separated in Africa.
I didn't separate, man. I didn't separate. I just got to move to the state in order to like have some time for myself and really got to concentrate and really try to work hard and save some money for myself, man, so that there comes a time when if she really want to like turn against me, I should be probably financially strong to be able to stand on my own and be able to like maybe manage my life, man. So
All right. Thank you,
yeah,
bro. Appreciate you, man.
yeah. So
Thank oh my God. Oh, I'm just for that one, but thank you very much. Let me yeah.
Hello.
Money. Hello, Franco. Baba, can you hear me?
I can.
Yay! This is one of your favorite fans. I follow you. I watch you all the time. Anyway, my contribution today is my first question is it possible? Because I left Nigeria when I was 17, nearly 20 something years ago. And
Wow.
people say because I didn't grow up in Nigeria, I don't know what it's like out there, that my thinking and my orientation has changed. So this question is it possible for a woman to pressure her husband to move abroad? Means but me saying that this is the reason why. I say to people when they ask me that, Tola, what is your idea? What do you think about us moving abroad? And I say it to them, listen, if you are coming on a visit, I'm more than happy to welcome you. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I will look after you. Anything you want, I will do it for you. But if you think you are coming to the UK on a visiting visa and you're not thinking to go back, think twice. Because what you see on the TV is different. What is different from what is on ground. I say this to people who want to come to America or wants to come to the UK and wants to go to America. I've had people, friends, family friends who had good jobs in Nigeria, as in
Yeah.
well-paid job, accountants, auditors, bank managers. And my husband too moved out here 5 years ago. But thank God I've been able to support him
Oh,
in
so he moved here 5 years ago, and you snatched him up.
Franklin, we both went to same primary school and same secondary school, so I didn't snatch him from anybody. Anyway, we died, So my point is, I, 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 I don't understand why a woman will, tell her husband put that pressure on him to move abroad. Like he always preach, the Western propaganda, they don't understand it. You know, in the US, I have families out there who do 3, 4 jobs just to make ends meet. The suffering is too much. They don't understand it. All they want to, I understand, the idea of wanting to give their children a better life. I understand that far. But if you are leaving Nigeria to relocate abroad, make sure you are not coming on a visiting visa. I mean, for people going to Canada, are not people who's left their well-paid job and moved to Canada on a residency and not going there, and they are doing fabulously well. Some of them even bought their house before they got to America, or to go to Canada, I mean. So my point is, do your research, do your findings. Don't just pack up and leave Nigeria to go to America, because what you will encounter on the other side is it's a different ball game. It's a different ball game. So like I said, if any man wants to relocate to abroad, do your findings. Don't just pack up. I've heard so many horrible stories, couples, families packing up, leaving Nigeria, coming to Obodo Oyinbo, not realizing what they are coming to face. Like you always say, they get lost in the system. Before they can actually find their feet, it takes minimum of at least 10 years.
Oh yeah, easy.
A minimum of 10 years. I'll give you a story of a family friend who used to work for a big company in Nigeria, was an auditor. It was on a salary of over 500K. From 2010 up until 4 years ago, this guy was coming to London like twice in a year. And the kind of lifestyle they live in Nigeria, because they have access to money, and they have access to that money. Things like upfront, they are borrowing money from the company's account, and they take the loan from their salary. By the time their salary comes at the end of the month, there's nothing to show for it. This guy was coming to London like twice in a month, and this guy was spending like no man's business. And I keep telling him, listen, this thing will not go forever. You need to slow down. It will come short by unnecessary things. I live here. I have children. I work for money. You just don't spend money like that. Phrankleen, this guy is in America, an auditor who packed up everything and moved to America and is selling McDonald's, working in the McDonald's shop. And I told him, when I was telling you a few years ago, you guys should slow down. You just don't spend this money. You need to calm down. Now you've left Nigeria. You're saying, hey, there's nothing in Nigeria. I left because of my children. And now look at where you find yourself. But when I was telling them at the time, they weren't listening. Even the case of my husband, who used to work in a bank, he too was living the life, was spending the money. And I keep telling him, you need to slow down, mate. Mate, you need to slow down. That money is not going to go forever. A lot of his friends were sacked. So if anybody has a banking job in Nigeria, Phrankleen, from an experience, I'm telling you, if anyone has a banking job in Nigeria, that's one of the most volatile job to hold in Nigeria, working in the bank. Because anything can happen and they can get rid of you just like that. And most of them, because they have loans that they've taken from the bank, by the time they are leaving, they have nothing to take with them. They have absolutely nothing to take with them. So my point is, before I rant on, if anyone is leaving Nigeria, any man that his wife is forcing him that let's go abroad, think twice, do your due diligence, do your research, do your findings before you pack up and leave, because what you will meet on ground will shock you to your bone marrow. Will shock you to your bone marrow. That's my contribution, Phrankleen. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. TJ Alunge, hi.
Hey, Phrankleen, how are you?
I'm all right. You?
I'm doing well. I just wanted to add a little bit extra. I think a lot of us have pretty much said it all. I had an uncle, or actually I have an uncle who did exactly that. The wife kept pressuring, said, oh, let's go. We have money saved. Very big man. He was doing contracts for the government in Nigeria. They came here, bought a massive $500,000 house, thinking that, oh, maybe they are going to spend or live the way they lived in Nigeria. It didn't last a year, Phrankleen. In a year, the house was, in almost about 6 months, the house was repossessed. Obviously, they couldn't make mortgage payments. Obviously, fighting started. And right now, they're divorced. They've gone their separate ways. The woman is still here. The man went back to Nigeria once he realized that he couldn't make ends meet anymore. So just like the
Wow.
last, yeah, he had to go back. He got to the point he started asking brothers, my dad included, borrowing him money. This is a man who was at the time in his 60s. So what are you looking for? You were doing so well in Nigeria. What are you looking for? And I think especially as women, we have this, and again, this is not to generalize, but some women have this, I don't know, is it comparison? You're looking at the Joneses. You want to say, oh, because my friend is doing this, I want to do it too. We need to stop that. You never know what's going on in someone else's house. I've been in the US for about 19 years. I actually brought my husband here. So yes, I actually stole him from someone. I brought my husband here. And he knew immediately he came here, he knew, say, Omo, this is no his work, her work, or it's his joint. We are doing this together. You know, so to anyone who wants to move, I think you've said it so many times, Phrankleen, do your homework. Nobody's saying that we don't want you to come here and live your life, but do your homework. America no be Nigeria. It is not Nigeria. Thanks, Phrankleen.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Right. Hold on. Interesting. So before I bring on the next person, thank you for people that have contributed so far. Let's stay on track, okay? The reason most men blindly travel abroad is due to the pressure from the Aolojuwonkonko wives. For those of you that don't understand Yoruba, I'll say it this way: due to pressure from their women, let's go abroad. And they say a lot of them weaponize the fact that if they've got children, let's have a better future for the children. They be on the man's neck, and then the man comes abroad, and then the abroad reality slaps them in the face. And when the going goes sideways, the women drop them in the middle of nowhere and maybe run in the other direction, getting their sugar wall blown apart by someone else. And brother ends up with depression, left out to dry, on and on like that. So some of the people that I've spoken have said, you know, you shouldn't allow anybody to pressurize you into something you're not comfortable to make a sensible decision about. I agree. In the case of manipulative women, it's a totally different ballgame, but I love all the conversations so far. Let me bring on the next person. In the case of manipulative women, mute your stuff, Loveleen. Hello? Hello?
Hi, Phrankleen.
Please mute your
Can you hear me? Oh,
TV.
okay, yeah, I just did.
I can hear my...
So, I'm excited to be on your show. I'm a big fan. And so, I'm in the US, and I just want to say that what you're saying is very true. Last year in New York, a man came from Nigeria, and he was a bank manager. So he quit his job,
right,
and then he came to the US on a visiting visa. So he came to church with one of our church members, and so the pastor said, "Let's pray for the new member we have." And they asked him to talk, and then he said, "Oh, I'm happy to be here at last. I left my job and I came here." My pastor was like, "What? You should go back to your job right now." And he asked, "Oh my God, I hope you didn't tell them at work." He said he told them, and they even did like a send forth party for him, and he had left his position. And so, and it was later that we heard from that family member in our church that the pressure was from his wife, you know, for him to travel, and so that they can be equals with that family member that he was staying with. So right. you can just tell that kind of pressure to just come, even without this. The way people come here blindly is not about being learned. It's not about not reading why they know stuff. They just want to. Some people just want. They don't care about the consequences. They don't understand the depth of it. They know maybe it's not right. They know it's not easy. They hear it's not easy, but I guess they just don't understand the depth of it. So yeah, I think it's true what you're saying. And when people come here, my mom says it all the time. She said, anybody that brings you to the US, no matter who the person is, you end up fighting because when you come, you don't understand what is happening. So yes, that's it.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Right. God's Klanoff.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, Phrankleen. How are you doing, man?
Hello. I'm all right. You?
Yeah, I'm okay. This is my first time in your show. All the other times, I'm at work and I get notification that your show is live. The last time I came, it was the last 5 minutes. And, let me explain to all of our friends and, sisters and brothers about the West. When you are coming to the West, you have to be prepared. If you are going to work in the building industry, you must be the best if you want a good job. If you are going to do mathematics somewhere in a university or institute, you have to be the best so that you can get a good job. If you are not, please prepare before you leave the country, because in the West, if you are not well prepared, you will end up working in McDonald's. When you were at home, a director or bank manager, it will happen with you. You see? So if you are not prepared, that's what I'm telling even my own sister. Don't go abroad. You have a nice house. You have 2 cars, a big house, twice then maybe the most expensive house in Belgium, in Brussels, or in London. So please, people, prepare before. I don't say don't go, but prepare. Or if you want to work in McDonald's your whole life, okay. But if you don't want to do that, you want a nice job in the office, be the best in the subject you are doing. Otherwise, I have that own experience. That's why I'm hiring. I'm still working in a company. When people are coming to clean my office, they say, oh, I want to work like you. I say, people, please, I have studied 7 years. 7 years at the university to have this type of job. And after the 7 years study, during the time I was working, I studied 3 years more to have knowledge. So the company, when there was crisis, people asked me, are you going to lose your job?
Somebody said you sound like the president of Nigeria. You sound like Buhari.
Like Buhari, right? People, when there was crisis, people were asking me, are you going to lose your job? I say, I don't think so. They say, how do you know? How are you so sure? I say, because the company, they need me. They know that if we leave this man to go, is somebody with a lot of knowledge and and possibilities. So I'm still working, but I think it was 3-4 years ago. I told the guys, if you give me some money, and then we can say goodbye to each other and forget everything. You don't have to pay my pension. They say, oh no, we can't leave you go. Can you imagine? Because one guy was leaving, they told him, we will give you this money and go, because they didn't want him anymore. He was in my department. If they were giving me that money, I would take it and say, thank you and goodbye. So people, prepare before you will leave. Otherwise, don't go abroad. Otherwise, don't go. If you want to work in McDonald's, okay, you will work there till 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the night. I don't want to do that job. Okay, thank you, Phrankleen.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Ella.
Hello. Hi, Phrankleen.
Is it Ella? Hi.
Hi. Good evening. I just wanted to chip in a few things that I want to correct one impression that it's not all women that actually force their husbands to go abroad.
Right.
Yeah, some do, some don't. And coming to the women that actually force their husbands, there are reasons why they do that. First of all, is they compare themselves to you, or they compare themselves to people that are abroad. They are fascinated by the things we buy for €1 or $1, or they're fascinated by the littlest things. I traveled to Nigeria last year, and there's this house that a relative of mine had. She's living very well. If at this kind of houses, the houses that before you enter, you ask if you have to remove your shoes before you enter, I was blown away. But I had to comport myself onto a broad level. But she was fascinated by the things I bought for 2 cents, for by €1. She's like, this abroad, I go combo. And in my mind, I'm thinking, you live well. Why do you want to go to abroad? She said, yeah, well, wow. See this your shoe, my sister. You go dash me this one though. And I'm looking at her and I'm calculating what she's wearing and what I'm actually wearing myself. And man, I got to tell you, you can't compare. She beat me hands down. But because of that, I don't know whether it's the aeroplane or the airport, something in her keeps on telling her I'm better than her. Meanwhile, in my head, I'm thinking, girl, you're living large. I have this uncle that asked me for money for visa. Now he's in his late 50s and he wants to go to Canada.
Wow.
So I'm looking at first of all, I was shocked. I'm like, why do you want to go to Canada? He said, yes, I've tried everything. Nothing is working in Nigeria. I just want to go and see if I can something can succeed. And imagine I was like, what? Wait, you are asking me for visa money. So what happens when you get the visa? So you call me again and ask me for flight ticket, or you call me again and ask me for upkeep money and calculate your age. But he doesn't want to hear it. He just wants to go. He just wants to leave Nigeria. For him, there's a tree with money waiting in Canada. That's actually how they see it. And his wife, in this case, yes, his wife is actually asking him to go and see if they will get something better. But his age, he might not come back alive with the whole visa process, but he doesn't want to hear it. And his wife thinks secretly, that if he goes to Canada, she will get a better right because the man is a sexist. So I think she's secretly planning to leave him there, maybe. So for me, that's one of the reasons why most women want their husband to go. So they will follow suit, and so that they will get some sort of women's right when they leave Nigeria. So that's all I wanted to say, Franklin. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Right. Joan, are you there?
Yeah, I am. Hello.
Hello, what's good?
Yeah, I'm very well. So I'm John from Canada. I really like to appreciate. I've been following you for quite a while. I really like to appreciate your, the great job you're doing, Franklin.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother.
Well done. I also listened to you about 2 days ago, and I learned a lot.
Right.
So I'm in Canada actually, and I've been in Canada since October 2016. That's about 4 years. I went for, when I was in Nigeria, I was doing IT. When I got to Canada, funny enough, I didn't get any job in IT for about 2 years. I had to go back to school to update myself.
Did you go with your wife or by yourself?
I went with my wife. And my wife did not force me. I was convinced of the need to come to Canada myself to bring my wife, and but when we got here, it was really very tough, and it's really tough in Canada because one, the weather And I came in about when I was about roughly close to 40, and it's been very, very tough. There is systemic racism. There's whatever you call it. It's happening here.
Yes.
So
It's
my
the same.
advice,
It's the same UK. It's the same everywhere, man.
yeah. So there's systemic racism. There's it's always there. Or perhaps they tell you when you go for an interview, because I attended a lot of interviews. They tell you you are overqualified. They tell you, oh, sorry, just one excuse or the other, I didn't get a job. And this is me with a very brilliant job back home in Nigeria. One of the smartest things I do, and I advise men to do if you are skeptical about your wife, right, is whatever investment you have in Nigeria, keep it, hold it. If you have properties in Nigeria, hold it. I have properties in Nigeria. Some I own with my wife, some I own alone. I have investments in Nigeria.
Yes, brother. Keep talking. Keep talking. Keep talking.
So hold on to it, because if the shit hits the fan, you could fall back to something. You don't want to just be put in surprise. Now, so for the people back home in Africa, there are two sides to these things. Yeah, the two sides is that we have an African culture and a Western culture. Now, because when you migrate, right, when you were in Africa, you might for maybe 10 years or 5 years, you are used to the African culture. And in the African culture, it behoves the woman to give the man respect by default. But here, it doesn't happen this way. When I remember when I came in, before I left, one of my family members was telling me, bro, just put the respect in the pocket. When you get to the airport, that's the last respect you get. And when I got here, I actually saw it, because I'm doing stuff. Me and my wife, we do stuff. I'm washing plates, I'm cooking, I'm vacuum cleaning, and then we're dividing the work. So if you're not ready to do that, sit down back at home. If you're not ready to share respect, sit down back at home. If you're not ready to share the bills, because it's about bills. I and my wife, we work. She pays her bills, we pay my bills. There's a percentage we share. She has a percentage she covers. I have my percentage that she covers. So there's no, I'm the big man here. You are supposed to pay the bills. There's nothing like that. You have to pay the bills, and that's it. But and another thing about Africans is that we're not used to the paying of bills. How many bills do you pay in Nigeria? You probably don't pay bills. You don't pay phone bills. You probably just buy a recharge card, and that's if you like. By default, you have to pay recharge card. By default, you have to pay for internet. You pay for everything. The only thing you don't pay for is the air you breathe in. You probably don't pay for that. That's the only thing you don't pay for. So it's a different kettle of fish here, and it's not a walk in the park. You have to walk, grind your behind, and then get the box. As I'm talking to you, I have plans to go back to Nigeria. I don't intend to stay here, and I've told my wife, look, I'm not staying here. I'm sorry. If you want to stay, fine. I have a deadline for myself. I'm going to be visiting you guys once I put in for my.
Wait. Let me. Sorry to interrupt you. Let me ask you. I love that statement. So you don't have to go too deep. But when you told your missus that you're going to go back, what was her reaction?
Well, our reaction was she was going back with me.
Ah, nice.
she was going to go back with me anywhere, but she told me apparently she probably might not be coming to Lagos because of course Lagos is another jungle of his own. So perhaps you were looking at Abuja. So my advice for men coming, whatever investment you have, let it be there, hold it on. Your African pride, just put it in your pocket, leave it there, come here, walk. And then when you get here as couples, learn to share the bill. And one last final point I want to make is some women who don't have even the intention to become rebellious, when they get here, because of the indoctrination by some African women, these same African women tend to, change the mindset of the innocent women, our innocent African women with lovely mind. So one of the things I tried to do when I came here was to wisely, I did it wisely, to dislodge my wife from interacting with African women as much as possible. But
My God.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't make it obvious. Yeah, I just dislodge it. I just dislodge her from
as
much as
good
possible.
brother. Nice one, man. Nice one. You're probably my favorite person so far, man. Nice one.
Yeah. All right, then. Take care, bro. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you,
your
bro.
time.
Nice one, man. Nice one. Nice one. Fantastic. Let me bring Raphael Vic. What's going on, brother?
Good evening, bro. It's indeed a wonderful opportunity.
How are you?
I'm fine. It's indeed a wonderful opportunity to be on the show. I'm a fervent follower of you. I follow your channel on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So it's a wonderful opportunity. I just came in and the conversation was on. I think the issue of or the pressure of men traveling out, it's not coming in from maybe their spouses and so on. I think I would call it a Western media propaganda, because you realize that it's nothing actually abroad like what is painted on television or what you see on the media. You realize recently, because currently I'm in the United Arab Emirates. I traveled home in December for vacation, and I met a friend. I think he was fascinated with just what I wear, what I put on, how I dressed, and so on. And he complains he's been having setback, he's been broke, and so on. But when I look on his drawer, I realize the expensive shoes, you see the expensive phones, the expensive watches, which he has, but yet he still complains of being broke. At the end of the day, I ask myself the question, what actually do you want? Because you realize what they put on back home, you are here and you don't even put it on. They eat better food. They eat better food back home. You don't eat it here. You work and you pay back vacant bills, but they don't understand. They only want to come abroad. They have everything it takes. And when you look at the system out here, you realize that you work, you are a slave behind money. You work your ass out. At the end of the day, when you look at the quality of life you live, it is not compared to what is lived back home, what their experiences back home. They have all what it takes to make it back home, but they don't work. I see people out here working 16 hours a day, and I sit and I ask myself, I say, if you have an establishment back home and you can work 16 hours, our people don't work. Seriously, our people back home, they don't work. You realize they go to work, they work just for 8 hours and they want success. How do you want them to succeed? They don't know what we go back here. The kind of work we do here, if we were to put back home, it's just because of the experience we've gathered abroad that has made us to face the challenges. We work 16 hours and even 17 hours, but yet we can still brave the challenges. But those back home, they cannot. So the advice I'll give to people who are back home is, if you're traveling, do your due diligence. Do carry out your research, because some people just travel out because of the opportunity which they have at home. You see some people, they have a visit visa to go to the US, to the UK, and they're just like, boom, I'm getting off that plane. But they don't know that the real life begins after you leave that plane. After you leave, that's where the real life begins. You faced the full winds of the punches of life abroad. If you're traveling abroad, do your due diligence. Actually have a defined purpose where you're traveling. If you're traveling for schooling, and you should, because ignorance is not an excuse abroad. Ignorance is not an excuse. Carry out your research, know why you're traveling, and that is the only advice I have for our people. But just know you are traveling out of the country and you have to work thrice You have to double your efforts than what you used to do at home.
Thank you, my
It
brother.
was wonderful time being on the show, bro.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, peace.
Hello.
Oh, hi. Good evening.
Hi.
First,
Good
I
evening.
would like to appreciate you. Thanks a lot for creating this channel. It's been very enlightening. I've been following you for quite a while. How are you
Oh, thank
keeping
you.
up your family? You're welcome.
We're fine. We're good. Thanks.
Okay. My short contribution, very short, is that we seem to have lost the value of what true relationship is within our community. You know,
Right.
it's supposed to be a relationship, an intermarrying, intertwining of two people trying to set a goal and trying to aim to achieve those goals. And that has totally been eroded. I came here in the 80s. Things were extremely different in those days.
Wow. Are you in the States or in the UK?
I'm in the UK. I'm based in London.
All right.
Right. Yeah. And in the 80s, when I came here, it's usually the men that travel abroad first. And they become students. Then they bring in their wives, their partners, and those women come in and work. And the men go to school in order to regularize their papers.
Yeah.
Right. So that was what was happening in those days. And people set goals and they aim and work together to achieve those goals. A lot of them managed to make something out of it, relocate back to Africa, and use all their acquired skills to build up something. But
yeah,
I also knew of a lot of them that came back because when they got to Africa, things went pear-shaped. So they had to relocate back. Okay.
right.
But I'm not talking about things going pear-shaped now. I'm talking about the question you've raised that, you know, men are getting so pressurized in this day and age to relocate from Africa to the Western world. And I think that is totally sad and wrong because people haven't got the right idea of what really happens there, that it takes ages for you to regularize yourself, to make ends meet. And things are particularly much tougher for men than women. Let's be honest. You know, it's easier for women to integrate to achieve better than men. I'm not saying men don't, but it's much easier because of the sort of climate that we are in. Do you get me? You know, we are much more able to, you know, go back to school and you know, study for something that could bring in extra money or that we can do a little bit of agency work and all that. It's much, much easier. Men have got too much to bear. And I'm begging all my sisters out there, aim to work together with your man. Stop working against them. Because when you work against them, you're working against your children, their future and your future. So let's work together, please. We need to allow people wherever they are, our people wherever they are, to realize this.
Can I ask something? Sorry to interrupt you. I really, really like the direction that you've taken this conversation, which is really good. And I'm sure people appreciate it too. So will you agree with me that if we look at it from the point of view from a lot of like the younger generation, is it safe to say that the Western influence, like what you've been emphasizing on about union and stuff, I've said this myself severally, but this generation that we live in, it's like it's a most relationship, it's like how do I say, it's like a microwave type thing. People are not interested in putting in the work, and when you just say that, I love this subtle way you said it, that working together, behind that working together, there's a lot of challenges, there's a lot of, you know, uphill battle and days when you really don't want to do it, but you have to do it. So what would be your advice, if you expand on that a little bit, particularly for, you know, younger folks watching you or listening to you right now, in terms of, okay, you're in the West, XYZ is more than likely going to happen. What would be like maybe 2 or 3 bullet points that you would give them? Go ahead, please.
Okay. Before I go into the bullet points, I've got tons, but before I go into that, I also want to bring something or drive something home to every one of us. A lot of us didn't grow up with probably our parents, or didn't grow up in a nuclear family to have templates for us to bring forward into a relationship in the future. So we picking and choosing what we want to bring into a relationship. And it's high time, you know, the family unit begins from home. It's high time we come back home. They say charity begins at home. It's not just teaching children about how to eat, potty training them. Is about how to maintain a relationship, how to rise to challenges, how to handle issues and things like that. Okay, so we need to encompass all that and inculcate that in our culture into our next generation, because this current generation, I really feel sad for them. Totally. Okay, so now going to the bullet points. What was the question again? Sorry, I'm lost.
No, it's
because
fine.
I get emotional about the amount of wastefulness that's going on.
Yeah,
within our
I'll
community.
repeat. I'll repeat for you. What I was saying is, in terms of what you said, which caught my attention about union and working together, you know, doing your best to make your relationship work and moving forward together, particularly those in the West, what would be like at least the 3 things that you would advise
for them to do? Number 1, be each other's best friends. Don't ever allow a third party, not even your own parents, to come between the two of you. You are each other's supporter, best supporters, each other's ladder holder. So you know when somebody holds your ladder so that you don't fall. You are that for each other. Okay? Make sure you set goals and you prioritize and you listen to each other. You bounce ideas with each other. You learn to reflect with each other so that you can see the best way forward. The idea shouldn't just come from the man or from the woman. It should be a union of both. Okay?
Yeah.
And the last thing is, don't be frivolous. Especially women. Okay? You see what I'm wearing?
Yeah.
All right. This used to be my ex-husband's top that he left. Okay? We separated in 2010. I still wear it at home. It's not torn. I don't need to buy a nightie. It's comfortable. Do you understand me? It's not because I'm missing him or I'm not missing him, but I'm just wearing it because I don't need to buy another. Do you get me? It's just something to wear at home. So I noticed that our women are extremely frivolous. They spend on inconsequential and unnecessary things. Do you get me? I'm not saying don't treat yourself once in a while, but the goal, keep your eyes on that goal and continue marching towards it together. Don't see a man as, oh, he's going to leave me one day, or a woman as she's going to leave me one day, because you've got children, especially if children are involved. You need to realize that both of you have to bring something to the table. All hands have to be on deck. Okay, and march towards that.
But we live in this microwave generation where people are so vindictive and everything burn out. I don't want any more. Bang, bang. I mean, I always say, with the exception of maybe domestic abuse, there's a threat to your life. Now, those are extreme cases. But, you know, this, you can't tell me what to do. It's done. It's over. And then boom, finished.
Yeah. It's not having the mindset that you need to fix things. It's like, I call it the the iPhone age generation. You know, everybody changes their iPhone almost every 2 years. Each contract comes, you need to renew it. Instead of, oh, there's nothing wrong with this iPhone, I can continue using it until it totally packs up and can't be fixed. You understand me? So again, it comes back down to home. How are we bringing up our children? I'm one of those advocates for, I'm sorry that I have to use this platform to say this. I'm one of those, because I used to just work part-time before.
Right.
I cut down quite a lot of things because I was a single mom. I need to be with my children. They need me, they need time. They need to, I don't want them to think mommy is at work, I can do what I feel like and start roaming the streets of London. So I want that discipline to be there. Do you get me? So when you have people thinking about building mansions when they are bringing up children, that's stupidity. Because your mansion is what you put into your children, what you put into them at home, so that when they go outside to represent you, they don't disgrace you. Do you get me? So people need to, we need to bring that that up. I'm not going into religious thing because I know your take on that. I'm of a similar mindset, okay, regarding that. But I think when we bring things back to the family, to the core of what a family is, and we give our children all the right equipments to be able to withstand the test of time, it does help them in the future. All this nonsense that's going on, people wanting to be rich, get rich quick, or not wanting to stay in a relationship for stupid things.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, he didn't buy me a car on my birthday, I bought him a perfume, he didn't give me a perfume back. Trivial things that you don't need to even get annoyed with, because you went into the relationship with a different mindset to what you ought to have brought into it. So that's what's happening. And we need to strip everything bare and go back to basic in our community. We as Black people, as the Black race, you know, the type of work I do, I see the amount of children that are lost into the system because parents are not parenting anymore. They are chasing elusive money that they shouldn't be. Wife wants to build her own mansion, husband wants to build his own mansion. I don't understand what's going on. How many rooms are you going to live in? At the expense of your children? What's going on? Do you get at the expense of your own happiness and joy and your husband's? What is happening? We need to change that. You understand me? I'm sorry that I've gone off tangent now.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I know we went in a dialogue, but I like it. There's a reason why, it's always nice we've sort of spent about roughly 2 hours talking about the same thing. So if we kind of go in another direction, it takes nothing away from the show. So I appreciate it anyway. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot for all the hard work. I appreciate you.
All right. Bye. Vicky.
Hello, Phrankleen. Good evening.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening. I always enjoy your show. Just to make a little contribution.
Right.
Women in the Western countries, I think a lot of other women influence contributes to women's misbehavior. When I just came to UK, I had friends I was moving with, and the first thing I noticed was they were resentful of the way I was respecting my husband. When we had chance to go out, I defer to him, and I usually use shema jeun, all those type of things. Wọ́n pè mí pé swẹ̀gbẹ̀ ni wọ́. Wọ́n ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ bí, please put that aside, kò gbé sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́, and things like that. So I'm like, no. From where I came from, I was learned to respect my husband, not just using hair for him. I defer to him. We rub minds together. But I kind of understand that I had to let go of this type of friends if I had to keep my home. Basically, my husband brought us here. I came here on a tier 2 visa as a nurse, but it was the instigator that I had to come. I had to come, and I knew what he spent for us to be here. You know what I mean? I don't have any, I don't have any dime in it. And I think, like that mommy said, we need to work together as a family. Marriage is not smooth, but it can be sweet. It's not going to be smooth every day, but we need to work together and think that a lot of things are at stake. The grass is not always greener on the other side, that we think, oh, I can just put this man in trouble. It's easy for a woman to adjust, and that's where the resilience of a woman lies. It's easy for a woman to build and to pull down. But I just want to say it's not okay if there's any little misunderstanding, then we turn it into a situation to victimize the men. I mean, some men can be devils anyway, but but I don't think it is right to still pull them down. I mean, a woman has a lot of influence on the husband and the family. So so those women don't just react. It's because they have a group somewhere, don't see one laying, backing them up, do this, do that. So women too should be careful of the type of companies they keep. So that's just my own little contribution. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Fantastic. That was nice. Great. We've banged out about 2 hours. Thank you to everybody that's contributed. It's amazing. So I'm going to close off on this. You are responsible. I think this is multifaceted. There are people that are victims of their partners, because you know what, this is how I want to end this, because we can have multiple views and assertions. There are men who are victims or married to women who are vindictive. Nobody on this timeline watching now would say they're not aware of women. There are women who are unbelievably manipulative, okay? Until they get what they want. Like, until they get what they want, they will be on the man's neck. Doesn't necessarily mean the man had done something bad or something. That's who they are with their personality, right? And somebody said earlier on about the keeping up with the Joneses and stuff. Some people, you know, everybody's going abroad. We too, we have to go. They hide behind the excuse of, oh, for the future of the children. But in fact, because even here in the UK, those that live abroad, you will see women that look fly. They wear the latest Armani, the latest head tie, the men too and stuff. And you look at their children and you're like, wow. It's the truth. They attend every parties on Fridays, on Saturdays, every occasion. They're buying the latest gold and GL and the latest carat of gold, the latest clothing, the latest wears. And they don't really pay much attention to the children. So for some of them, it's a getaway to come to another side of the world and cater to themselves. But also, there, just like some of the callers have said, there are people who, you know, it's a joint decision, even if the man decides to. There have been cases where both the couples were equally ignorant. They agreed back home to come abroad, but they both didn't have the right information about where they were going to or the kind of visas that brought them. And then they get abroad and they're like, wow. They realize their mistakes and then they accept their fate and they start doing menial jobs and they do whatever to, you know, move up in ranks, which is understandable, right? So the long and short is align with your own, you know, decisions, your mistakes, your errors, whatever you've done wrong, whatever decisions you've made in terms of going abroad. And to go back to my video from days ago, just make sure if you have, particularly you and your partner, or you as a man, you've worked hard. I love what that brother said earlier. That brother from, I think from Canada, who said, he's got some properties back home and he's not selling them, maybe rent them out to keep them just in case abroad doesn't work out. That's a smart move. You know, all I was saying in that video was, don't be blind, don't be crazy to just blindly go abroad and throw away. I will say it again on a closing note. People have lived abroad for donkey years, 10 years, 15 years, 19, 20, 30 something years. Some people don't even have a brick to themselves back home. That's fact. So if you're 40, you're 30 something, you've managed to work hard and build something, do your findings. Phrankleen is not saying don't travel abroad. Don't go blindly, man. I was sharing some stats about life abroad. As we speak, at the time of recording this, America has over 40 million people out of employment. Here in the UK, I think nearly 700,000 people have lost their jobs. In fact, the number is due to go up once the furlough, which is where the government is subsidizing towards people's wages, that's meant to come to an end by the end of October or sometime in October, right? So that will spike the number of employment. The same thing in Australia, the same thing across the globe. These are the harsh realities, right? So don't think you're a super human who is coming abroad to come and change anything. The system is set and it's in place. So what we're trying to tell people is, before you even manage to build your profile and get to where you can say, okay, I'm enjoying a degree of comfortability, you're going to give 5 to 10 years. Easy. 10 years at the bare minimum. That's if you have no immigration complications or anything. Easily in this system before you can find your feet in, except if you have a soft landing, maybe you got people that can accommodate you, or, you know, people who can back you when you land and say, okay, stay with me, I'll back you with this. I know somebody that'll help you get into that IT sector. It's not always the case for a lot of people. Very tiny percentage of people get that. There's no soft landing for most people, you know. One of the biggest trap is, somebody said, my uncle said, my sister said, we can stay with them for the next. I know somebody that sent me an email that said his blood brother said, you can stay with me for the next 1 to 2 years. It's the biggest lie. Misunderstanding broke about the amount of fish and chicken the family was eating within 6 weeks of living with them. And in less than 3 months, they had to find their way. That's his blood brother in America. It's the harsh reality. Some people might be nice. Those very, very nice and accommodating people, the numbers are very, very minute. So that's all I'm saying, man. Once again, massive thank you to all of those people that have contributed tonight, that have been part of the conversation. All right. Think well, make your choices. Do it properly is all I'm saying. All right. Do it properly. It's not a joke. I saw some people, a guy was saying to me in the previous video, my mom and my auntie, they live abroad and they're sending money asking us to buy a piece of land for them to develop. So because somebody abroad sent $1 million naira for you to help them buy a parcel of land, you then turn to a billy goat. You want to blatantly disregard due process. You don't want to investigate anything. You can't tell me anything. You're going there to die. I'm telling you right now. Because what your auntie or your mom or your sister might not tell you is, before they put together that 1 million naira to buy that parcel of land, you don't understand the hours, the jobs they had to go through. You just see the money. Somebody was telling me my mom is in the UK. She only gives me a mere 150,000 naira. And I laugh. In my mind, I was reading the email. I said, you twat. 150,000 naira. I bet that woman is probably doing a care job. She has a cleaning job in addition. She's busting her backside. She's giving you 150,000 naira on a monthly basis. And you are saying a mere change for 150. Like you think it's a joke. And these are the people that when you try to tell them, they are very quick to bat away the advice. They don't want to listen. I want you to get your visa and come here. And you know what's interesting? As soon as you get to the UK, your mom is no longer going to give you that equivalent of 150,000 naira. So now it's your time to get your crusty behind out in the cold and go and grind. There was a guy I met as well. He newly came to the UK. The mother has a bad health problem, pretty bad arthritis. I felt like punching him in the face. I met him at New Cross down in London. And imagine, the mom has been here for donkey years, 20 plus years, before they managed to get him into the UK. He's living in the house for free. He said, the mom said there is 6 years mortgage left on the property. He lives in the house for free. So he managed to get 2 jobs. And in fact, this guy is threatening to go back to Nigeria. You know why? The mom said, don't pay rent. Don't worry about the food stuff. Just charge the electric. Take care of the electric and the gas. And this guy threw up tantrums. He was telling me this on the roadside. I was laughing. But behind the laughter, so I asked him, I said, you have your own room in that house? He said, yeah. Yeah, my big enough room. I have a double bed. I have my TV. I have, everything. So your mom only asks you to charge gas and electric, and you are throwing tantrums. You live in the center of London. And what really cut through me like a knife is he even said it. She's always making excuse because she's got this arthritis. It hurt me, man. I said, arthritis. Lenware. I felt something like rush on, but I can't do nothing. I was just so irritated. I was like, bro, I think he kind of knew I was angry. I said, I'll see you, man. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. I had to just cut the conversation off. So why am I saying this? A lot of people don't have a clue, man. They don't appreciate, Even, let's digress. Let's digress. This guy sent me an email. It's like, oh, I know somebody who is a doctor. Yeah. I said, stop right there. Anybody who's gone to medical school, like in Nigeria, before they do all the exams to transfer over, medical school, you're giving away a chunk of your youth to even come out at the other end of the tunnel and with your qualifications and stuff. They paid their freaking dues. It's not a joke to become a medical doctor, a qualified one at that, right? So I have never been to medical school. I'm not a doctor, so I can't even align myself with a doctor. So a doctor in Nigeria that they are pissing on and they fly out to Canada, it hurts me because we keep losing some of the best brains and minds that should be performing operation and taking care of the population. And if they've not paid their wages and he manages to get the hell out and just run and get to Canada or somewhere and they pay him ghastly amount of money, how do we beckon and ask them to come back? So I can understand from that point of view. Phrankleen, I live in the USA. Wife in Africa, supporting the family as an engineer, saving, but this life away from wife is taking a toll on me. Should I go back or stay here? You know what? Phrankleen, I live in the USA, wife in Africa, supporting family as an engineer, saving, but this life away from wife is taking a toll on me. Should I go back or keep? You know what, man? First of all, I give my salutations to your hustle as a brother, your grind, the word supporting, your family, man. I don't care if you're a window cleaner. Doesn't even matter if you're an engineer. Doesn't matter. You're doing your bit to support your family. I respect that, man. Okay? But when we begin to look into the complexity that comes with the current jurisdiction you're trapped in, which is you're existing outside the confines of your marriage, your wife is miles away. Can we briefly, because this topic is different, but I'll talk about it and I'll wrap up. How do you deal with, because that thing is a major killer, you know? How long can the other party or both parties, can you deal with deprivation of sex or love making? Now, don't get me wrong. Love making, you know, you kind of pledge allegiance emotionally to each other, right? And but at the same time, you're humans and you're miles away. That sort of amplify temptation, doesn't it? It puts you in a precarious situation. And, you know, to lower. So somebody rolls past you in the workplace, you're constantly seeing that booty, seeing those legs. You would want to bust a nut, right? I'm not saying you should. It takes its toll on the brain on the inside. The same thing for the woman back home. I don't know who she is. I'm talking hypothetically here. So I'm just looking at the effects these can have on your relationship. It's hard, man. In fact, these beats that I'm talking about is one of the things that have sabotaged a lot of relationships. So when somebody goes abroad and they're faced with reality, the wife is back home, everybody's looking at the wife like a hawk. Oh, you have to wait for your husband. 1 year, 2 years, 3 and 4 and 5. I've heard stories of a woman who waited for close to 5 years. And she just went off tangent in entering the 5th year. Bust her legs wide open. Something led to another, did something with someone else. And everybody and their mama were throwing shoes at her, man. Look. I'm very objective, man. It plays on your mind. Everybody's selfish. You expect your partner to close their legs and keep themselves, you know, for you, vice versa, right? But there is something about relationship. We have different values. We have different mental capability. We have different thresholds. The woman might be able to hold herself for so long. The man might not be able to. In another relationship, the man might be able to hold himself. The woman might not be able to hold herself for so long. These things happen, man. In the case of this person, you know, if you don't feel some type of, you know, this and this and this, some partners might not mind. As long as you're talking, you're keeping in touch, and you're keeping 100. You know, they're convinced they might hold it. You know, people, the woman is in Africa, burning and waiting and hoping the husband, however long, is coming to get her or coming back home. You get to the States, you realize the complexities around you, trying to naturalize and all that stuff, trying to get papers. Somebody, you know, one thing leads to another. Like, hey, man, hey, you got to get between that woman's legs and, you know, to sort yourself out. Yeah. You get in there, you do the do. Things take banana shape. Everything, shit hits the fan. There is a truckload of stories in that regard. So it's hard, man. They can both use sex toys and have phone sex. I hear you, man. Phone sex cannot equate to your husband's pounding. Phone sex cannot replace the juicy contact with your woman's sugar walls, man. It's the harsh reality of life. You dig? So the word immigration, man, is a layer of complexity. It's crazy. It's destroyed so many homes, so many marriages, so many lives, particularly this abroad life. It's destroyed so many lives. Just, you know, so many, man. It's destroyed so many lives, man. So many good people that didn't, you know. But having said that, kudos to those couples, partners that find the strength to push through, hold themselves emotionally, and try their very best. It's not easy, man. What's all these comments about sugar walls, man? Leave me alone. It's the harsh reality, man. Hey. I'm surprised. Let me see. Phrankleen, I'm surprised on how the Indian ladies and their spouses keep up. African women tend to lose it more than they get here. It's a lie. It's a lie. Let me tell you, man. You should also understand something. There is a great misconception. There's a great misconception. We should be careful. We can compare with certain communities, certain things. Let me tell you, man. Who told you there's no cheating or there's no misbehaviors in the Indian communities? They're humans. As long as you got blood running through your veins, don't get it twisted. Indians are not superhumans, man. Don't look in that direction like that. It's just because you probably don't have a proper insight into what goes on in the Indian community, into the core of their affairs, simply because we're not Indians and you don't exist in that community. Just like you can easily know so many Nigerian stories or, Nigerian palavas and different occurrences. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. It's just that in those cultures, there is a lot of extremities where the woman can get murdered. We also do it in our culture. Extreme people do it. We have been married for a year. I keep to myself, work, build businesses online like moreradio.com. She's a lawyer. We have been separated for 10 months. I'm thinking of going back, but the USA pays well. We have been married for a year. She's a lawyer. All right. We've been separated for 10 months. I'm thinking of going back, but the USA pays well. Something has got to give. It's up to you, bro. Something has got to give, man. Life, what do you call it, man? Life has its layers of complexities and stuff. Everybody just really wants a comfortable life for themselves and stuff, but do whatever works for you. It's just what, I digress. In our community, there's this very toxic thing, which even me as a man, I go against, which is if a man travels abroad, suddenly, and if the woman is back home, there is a pressure on the woman to just wait and hold fire for the next 15 years or 10 years or 9 years until the man gets papers and comes back. Everything about her feelings and what she might need, how she's feeling emotionally must be suppressed. If she dares to go off tangent, she's a hoe, she's a slapper, nah, man. It's vice versa, man. Even the man, wherever you are, it's not easy, man. You've not seen your partner, man, and you got to keep it in the trousers. It's a crazy ass test. It's crazy. So whatever floats your boat. Let me see some of these comments. It's a lie. Indians and other Asians keep their issues quiet within their communities. Of course they do, man. They don't expose their problem to the world on social media like Africans and Caucasians do. Well, yeah, we're very dramatic. We're very, we have some people, like in our community, where unfortunately some people in our community are very lousy. Some of you will know some of these people, these women here in the UK who are on Facebook, some group always fighting themselves. I'm not naming anybody. They make all these Facebook videos, voice notes, putting all sorts of who slept with who, destroying themselves. Some of them even meet physically and fight, and they built YouTube careers off that. You know the people I'm talking about, man. So hey, the river will dry up. If you don't use it, you will lose it. Miss Anderson, that's fire. That's powerful. She better separate or divorce and be free. There's no need to sleeping around whilst married. Well said. So, if you want to send me your stories, you can bang me an email to foodchannel1960@gmail.com. Foodchannel1960@gmail.com. Thank you for the super chats. I really appreciate you. Certain persons keep asking, how can I support you, Phrankleen? If you look in the description, you can support me via PayPal. If you're not in super chat, you can do it via PayPal. You can do it via Patreon. There's a join button. You can join monthly to support my channel for $4.99. Is it pounds or dollars a month? You know, coffee money. And yeah, you can do Cash App or PayPal, whatever floats your boat, man. But thank you for the super chats, and send me your stories, man. Send me your topics. Thank you, Phrankleen, for the advice and all that you do for the community. Listen, if you run a business, if you run a type of business that will be a blessing to diasporans, particularly if you're based in Nigeria, catfish business, any type of lucrative business that we can talk about on my channel, push me an email, all right? I'd love to bring on sensible people. If you're a career expert, you have information that will be benefited. Listen, I don't mind bringing people on, but I don't want people who, behind your mind, you're just a user, you're just looking for your exposure for your business, and then you come here and you start saying to the audience, by the grace of God, Sha, you know, God will open the door for you. I'm going to cut you off. All right, you know what I'm saying. I want legit people that really want to contribute to the wider Black community. All right, I don't mind if your business gets an exposure. I love you as a brother or sister, and if you want to support the channel, do whatever. Okay. You know, but I love people that keep it real. As long as we are adding value, if I can be a blessing to at least one person, I think I would have done an amazing job. All right. Thank you, T. Kelly, Eunice, everybody involved. Thank you so much. And I'll definitely catch you in the next one. Peace and love. Bye now.